Hello guys, in this tutorial we are going to add this particular custom UIBB, and inside that we are adding a field called legal advisor. So if we are mentioning this field after creation of this CR type, after getting final check activated, this legal advisor will get copied into one custom table which I have created into this. So in this table, whatever entries we are adding here, that will get added along with business partner number and its corresponding legal advisor, which is mentioned in this UIBB. So whatever it is, like custom entity we are creating, custom UIBB we are creating and mapping it with custom table. So and it is again, when we are opening this particular uh, change request or any business partner, again this should bring from active area to staging area and show in the UI also. So this all we are going to discuss now. Let's discuss how to create a custom entity, and it has to get mapped to a custom table. That means whenever we are saving the data after activation, it should get saved into a custom table. So let's get started. So suppose our requirement is we have to create a custom field inside a custom UIBB. That custom UIBB name is legal data. So this is the custom UIBB name, and I want to add legal advisor as a custom field in that. So first to create this one, let's create a data element first. So for legal advisor, let's create a data element like ZZLEGADV. So first now I will create this data element. So I am going to SC11. I am creating this data type as ZLEGADV, legal advisor. Now inside this, now it will not exist in the system, so I am creating it. Data element name is legal advisor, and domain I am going to create built-in type, and data type is char. Length is, name will be of length about maximum 30 characters, so I am giving 30 here. Field label, just creating LEGADV here. So here medium legal advisor. Now I'm just copying this into other three fields, in this and in this. Save this. Local object is fine for now. Now go back. We have to activate this. Now one important one. So whenever MDG is used, we have to use further characteristics inside this. So inside further characteristics, we need to tick this change document. If we don't tick this, it will not get captured into change documents. So I am just using this one, saving this and activating this. So this is done. Now we are ready to start ahead. Let's start at MDG level. So let's create an entity in MDG. So create entity. Now for creating entity, just going back, MDG IMG, and then go inside general settings, data modeling, and edit data model. So inside this BP, go to entity types. Now I will add a new entity. So type 4 entity I have to add in this case with cardinality as 1:1, because for every BP I am just assigning only one legal advisor. So I am clicking on new entries, entity type. So entity type, if it is custom entity, we have to start with Z. That is a rule. So this is the namespace for a custom entity type. On storage and use, I am just using type 4. Data element we should not give here. So other than this, I am just saving this. Still I am saving changes. Now I am going to attributes inside this. So in this I am adding attribute. So attribute namespace always it will start with ZZ. This is a convention we have to use. So ZZ, now legal advisor means LEGADV. I am just giving this as attribute name. Now inside this I am giving a data element as same. Now I have created, right? So I am giving same as data element. Now other things, description I am maintaining legal advisor. That's it. Now I am going to relationships. So I just have to remember this one, Z legal. So I am going to relationships. Now I have to create relationship between Z legal and type I have to create a leading relationship. So click on new entries. From I have to create type uh, relationship from type 1 to type 4. So because I am in main screen, BP header is the type 1 entity. So BP header. Now relationship name, let's decide later. On to entity type, I am giving the one which I used here. So BP to ZLEG. So this is the relationship name. Click on enter. Enter. Now this will get accepted to system. Now inside relationship type, I have to give as leading relationship, because always from type 1 to type 4 or type 4 to type 4, it will be leading relationship. Now I am giving as cardinality. For every BP it should be only one legal advisor assigned. So I am giving 1:1. I don't need to give data element and all. Now relationship from BP header to ZLEG legal. So this is the description I am maintaining. Enter. Now I am saving this data model. So it is not giving any errors now. Save changes. Now come out of this entity types, inactive data models. Now click on save button. It will show. Select this BP and click on save. It is showing as different active version. So that means we have to activate this. So activation. So this has been activated. Okay. Now we have to click on adjust staging area of linked change requests. Yes. So this has been scheduled. Now go back and go to generate data model specific structures. So inside this we have to manually add our structures inside this. So we have to know which type of structures we have to add. So for us all the structures are not required. The required structures I will add. So here click on new entries. Now cust legal. So Z legal, in where use the list I am using SMT mapping for replication, or I am adding mapping of reuse active area. Now again Z legal, this time field control for attributes, again Z legal, field properties for attributes and key fields. Now Z legal. I think these are enough. Now I can save this, save changes. Now I will select these four and then click on generate selected structures. So whatever structure it has been created now. Now let's check with ZXX and PP legal, for example S11. So star ZXX star. So if I check this, we will be able to see a structure which got generated by our MDG framework. So this is very helpful. I am just copying this because it will be later used in Genil. I am just copying this and pasting here in Notepad. So create entity is done, attributes, relationships, activation, adjustment, and then finally we have done generate data model specific structures, and we got an attribute structure now, this one. So I am just copy this and paste this because it will be helpful while doing Genil model later. So next step, we have to go back and let's go to Genil enhancement. So Genil underscore data underscore, so Genil underscore model underscore browser is the T code. Let's go inside this. Now here we have to create a new enhancement. Let's give Z legal advice, Z legal custom. So I am just creating this enhancement. Now I am using a super enhancement Bupa cusp. So this is the enhancement which is given by SAP. I am just overlapping on that. So I can use this as final. It is optional. Now description, legal entity edition for BP. Click on continue. Now a new Genil enhancement will be created inside Bupa cusp. Now click on local object. It has been created successfully. Now let's go to dependent objects. Here we can see all standard ones. Now let's add dependent object here, a new dependent object. So go to dependent objects, right click, create dependent object and give the object name as something which is related to entity, like this is like an entity. So there we have created Z legal. So here I am creating Z legal and click on OK. So a new dependent object has been created here at last. So now we have to add here key structure and attribute structure. So key structure, we have to use BSSBP root key because this is the key structure for any root inside BP. So I am this object is directly linked to this, so I am just using this one, BSSBP root key. It will have S11. So if you see the structure, it will have GUID. So for business partner, GUID is the mandatory one. So I am just using this root key. Now attribute structure, whatever we have generated here, this can be added. So copy this and paste this. So root object is BP root. We can add that. Super object, it is not required. Now we can just go to close dependent objects. Now go to root object. Now for BP root we have to create a relationship. So right click create relation. So relation name is ZLEGAL underscore REL. I am just using this one, REL. This is case sensitive, guys. So exactly same name should be it will be used later. So ZLEGAL underscore REL small case. Okay. So now I'm just using card of assigned object as 0 to 1. Now assigned object ZLEGAL, which I have created now, I am just assigning this. So this is done. Save this aggregation. Now refresh this. Now we can see in root objects a relationship will be created. Again, if we go inside dependent objects, a dependent object will be created. That's it. So we can save it and go back. Now Genil is done. So Genil component extensions, these are done. Now we have to go to another level, UI level. So first to create a UI, first we have to know which is the type of UI which we want. So we are thinking to add a legal advisor, that is 1:1 cardinality. So that means we have to use form UIBB. List UIBB is used for objects which will have 1:n or 0:n cardinality. So that's why I am just going to SEAT. I will create WebDynPro component for form. Now I am just going to WebDynPro components and I have to go into FPM form UIBB GL2. This is the component which we are using for creating form UIBBs inside MDG. So click on display. So it will have assistance class and all. Now inside this we have to go into component configurations. So here in component configuration, right click and click on create option. So allow. So in component configuration, I am giving a custom configuration ID ZMDG underscore Z legal underscore form. So I will note this one also, if it may be useful in later cases. So created form UIBB, this one. So click on create form UIBB for legal data. Okay. Local object. So feeder class. So this is the important one. Based on the feeder class we assign, that on dependent on that only properties will be there. So feeder class we have to assign correct one. So I am just giving the feeder class which is given by SAP for business partner. So GUIBB form. This is the one which we have to use. Now click on enter. Click on OK. So it will ask component. So this is related to Genil. So Genil, it is Bupa component. So business partner is related to Bupa component. Object name is the object name dependent object which we have created in Genil component. So I remember that is ZLEGAL. Z legal is the one which I created, and editable. As soon as we open the UI, it should be editable by default. So that's why I have given this, and click on OK. So this feeder class has been changed. Now this FPM has been opened. So this one I can remove it because it is not required. Delete. And business partner also it is not required, because business partner it will be there at the top level only. So we don't require this to show in the UI. So I am just deleting this also. Only legal advisor I am focusing on now. So I am just pasting here, drag and drop here. Now this is that legal advisor. Now clicking on first one. So group header I want to give as legal data. So I am just saving this. Now this is done. This we have copied here. So this will be used later. Closing this. So we have to open now. Before doing that also we have to go to we have to go to SM34. SAP has provided one view cluster here. VC underscore Genil BS VC MDG BS Genil C. We have to go into this, and we have to maintain component name, object type, and external object one. So component name is Bupa. This is Genil component name, and inside the Genil component, what is the main entity? So BP root is the main one. So we have to give that one here, and then object type is bus 1006. This is the object type for business partner. So after giving this, go inside this. So this one is for another custom entity. Now I am clicking on new entry. So component name again it will be Bupa, and external object name. So entity type is, we will get entity type from MDG Z legal. So this is the entity type of it is from MDG, and same thing we have also created the dependent object inside Genil also. So Z legal we can use here as well. So save it. After saving this, now let's go to, I'm just noting steps here. It will be, we can review later. Now created entry in SM34 BC underscore MDG underscore BS underscore Genil underscore C. So in this we have created. Now step 5, we have created custom UIBB here. So that custom UIBB we have to use inside main overview page for business partner. For that we have to go to organization, any CR we can open. Here we have to know where you want to add this UIBB. So we are doing for business partner, right? So we can add under general data, under customer details we can add that UIBB. So close this. Under customer details let's add. So right click, technical help, and go to application configuration. So inside this we have to go to BSCU overview page. Here we have to create a customizing, edit customizing. If it is already existing we have to click on edit customizing. If it is not existing we have to create customizing. So in my customizing I am going to add a custom UIBB here. So scroll down, go to overview page schema. Here uncheck this, click on BP section. So inside this section only we want to add. So now here we have to click on add UIBB. So we want to add form component. So config ID we have to give the one which we have created. So we have created ZMDG legal form. Just copy this and paste inside this one. So title, what is the title for this? So legal data. So this is enough. Enter. Now let's position this UIBB. It is by default it added at last line. So select this, drag this and drop under customer details. So now legal data is under customer details. Save this. Now let's record that. Added custom UIBB, custom form UIBB inside overview page of customer. So this is done. So next what we have to do after this gets saved, we have to create wire schema. So wire is like relationship inside MDG. So in inside MDG it will be a relationship which we have defined between two entities. But in UI we have to create a wire between two UIBBs. So because we have created in main page, it should be related to business partner root related. So it should, this wire we have to create between business partner root component and our custom component. So let's do that. Select any change request, click on OK, it will get saved. Now go to wire schema. So inside wire schema we have to create a custom wire. So we have when we are creating a custom UIBB, we have to create relationship of that UIBB to its root component. WebDynpro component we have to give FPM form UIBB GL2. So this is the component which we have to give because we have added inside that WebDynpro component. Now inside config ID we have to copy this one. This is the custom UIBB which we have created and paste here. Here. So now after giving config ID it will not ask anything instance ID and all. So it is now connector class is mandatory. So connector class, let's choose from drop down because we are doing 1:1. We have to create a mapping. Enlarge this. So here we have to choose bol relation connector for business partner. It is related to us. So I am choosing this one. Now source component. Source component means BP root. So let's go and check other wires. So we can see here BP root is also belonging to FPM form UIBB GL2. So I can copy this one and paste here. Now here source component we have defined. Source config name BS underscore BP underscore root. We can mention this one. Now after clicking on enter, let's give port. Now port is lead selection. Now port identifier we have to give LS. Port identifier as standard. Now we can see automatically relation name has been filled. BP legal REL. So this is coming from Genil data which we have created there. So that will automatically get filled because this system detected this relation. So creation mode, creation with default values. Now save this. So now added wiring for UIBB. Now we have to also remove unnecessary buttons in UI. So we have to do this one. We have to remove unnecessary buttons from toolbar, because SAP gives by default create button and delete button and all. So to do that, let's go to, so we have to go top. We can see automatically delete and create button, it is showing in the UI. So we don't need create delete options here. So inside capture options, I have to choose none, so that we should not get any buttons in the top of that UI. Click on save. Now let's close this and check in the UI. It has to be editable by default. So now click on new button, organization. So it has been opened. Now we can see under customer details, we are having legal data. It is also having editable directly. So we can maintain any data here. After clicking on check button also, it should not get disappeared. Only error message should come and it is not getting disappeared. So this looks fine as of now. So this is fine. I am just closing this. Now as far as development done until now, this is done at staging level. Now we have to focus on another concept. So we have to understand. So let's assume this is staging and this is active area. So when we are opening any existing change request or any existing business partner inside NWBC or Fieri, then what happens is system brings data from active area to staging area at that particular instance. So actually staging area will be empty, but system will bring from active area to staging area by using a middle structures called API. So API is the structure which is created by MDG. So these are structures. So API structure, we are using MDG underscore BS underscore BP underscore S underscore ECC S underscore ECC underscore EXTRN extern. So this is one API structure which is used by MTG. So system will map accordingly. So this is the structure, important structure we have to use. And staging area, it is generated by MDG. So this is attribute structure formed by entities and attributes. So this is the staging structure, attribute structure. So we have to do mapping between these two, and in active area means we will create custom table. So to do this, to do next steps, currently data is storing only in staging area. So now we want this staging data to get replicated to active area as well by using API. So API is the common one which we have to use inside handler class. Now we have to create a custom handler class. I am just trying to create ZCL custom handler. I will create this handler class by using a super class. So I don't need to mention all the methods inside handler. We have to mention only the mandatory ones. So super class I am using as CL MDG BS ECC handler. So this is the super class I will use and create a handler class. So let's create it SC24. We have to give description for this. Custom handler class for replications to active areas. So now click on this inheritance. Now super class, as I have mentioned, this one, it is provided by SAP for business partner. So we should not disturb any other functionalities. So I am just using CLMDG BS ECC handler. CLMDG BS ECC handler. Local object. Just uncheck this filter. Now we will get all the methods here. So I am saving this, but we cannot activate it now because it needs 6 methods which are very mandatory to execute this. So after this we have to create custom handler class from super class of BP. So I have created custom handler. Now the mandatory methods here are, we have to execute 6 of them. So first one is sort entities. Second one is read object data. Third one is get object data by entity. Fourth one is map data to STA staging. Fifth one is map data to API. And sixth one is, this is optional but we have to do in this case, save additional object data. So these are 6 methods which we have to execute now. Redefine, and click on this option, redefine method. So it has been created, this method has been created. Save this, go back. We have to do map data to staging. Again click on this redefine method, save this, go back. We have to create read object data, redefine this, save this. I am just doing this because we cannot activate without these classes. It will show errors. Now save additional data. I am just creating, saving this, going back. So get data by entity, get data by entity, object data by entity. This one also I am redefining, saving this, going back. Now sort entities we have to check, we missed that. So sort entities also I am just redefining it, saving this and going back. So completely now if I click on filter, go top, I have redefined total 6 methods which are mandatory. So I am saving this and click on activate. So I am just activating all of them. Now we are not getting any errors. This class will get activated now. So this class got activated. Now when it gets activated, before executing that, go to mdgimg and we have to register this access class. We have to tell the system that we are using this custom handler class for business partner. So to do that, we have to go into central governance for business partner, go into this, and here there will be option specify handler processed by access class. Go into this. So here click on new entries, BP. So ZCL custom handler. So custom underscore handler. Click on enter. It got saved. Save this in under the transport. Go back. Now we have did registration for particular. Now we have done the registration for this handler class. Now let's open handler class and understand what will happen here. So how this handler class will get triggered. So I have done some debugging before this tutorial. I have understood that sort entities is the main method which will tell the system that we have to use other methods inside this for the custom entity. So inside, if we go inside this sort entities, there will be IT entities all. This means and all the entities which are there in the data model. So all the entities will come related to business partner, but CT entities are the only entities which we are getting used in uh, which are used in our particular instance. So whenever we execute in CT entities in this particular table type, our entities need to be included. So USMD entity, this is an entity name which we have to include every time. So if it is inside this IT entities all, it should be there in CTA entities also. It is like a filter. So if we don't use sort entities here, if you don't use this method, this entire handler class will get executed for all the entities which are standard also. So that's why we have to create a filter here. So I am just checking if our entity is in this table or not. If it is existing, I am just appending that into CT entities. That is the solution. I am removing superclass which is not required. So loop add IT entities all into data LT entity. It is not LT. I am using LV entity. If LV entity is equal to what is our custom entity name which we have created in MDG. So Z LEGAL, Z legal. So if this is there, then we have to append LV entity to CT entities, and if end loop. That's it. So I am just activating this one. So from this what happens is all the entities in BP will come here, and we are telling system that I am using this particular entity. If it is there inside this inside this loop, I have to add this filter CT entities. So in CT entities our custom entity name will get added into this. So this will get used, and then it will get triggered in later stages for other methods inside this. So that's why I have did sort entities first. So I am just mentioning here trigger for custom entity. So if we don't mention this sort entities, if we leave it blank, our custom entity will not get triggered inside other methods. Our custom entity will not come inside this method and all. So this is the important one, sort entities. Next one, we have to use go to paint, and let's understand what is happening. So whenever we click on activate button, after activation by background user SAP WF40, two methods will get triggered. One is map data to API, and next is save additional object data. So these two methods will triggered by SAP WF40 background user while activation. So that means activation means we are transferring data from our staging area to active area. So active area means automatically we are transferring data from staging to API, because API is the middle one, this structure. So through this API structure we are transferring from staging to API, and then from API we will use the following method, save additional object data method. We will use inside a to we will use this method which saves data from API to active area. So this is like insert statements, insert or modify statements inserts data into DB table from API structure. And before this one will get triggered, map data to API. This means we have to map data to API format. From that API format we will save the data inside this method. So that means we have to do map data to API first now. Let's do that. Go to map data to API. So in map data to API, let's see signature. We are having LV entity, LS data, IV entity, IS data, IV task, and IVF name, IO model. We don't need to use all of them in our case. Go to edit mode, remove this super class and all. Now what I will do is I will tell this method first. I will filter with entity. If IV entity is equal to Z legal, so our custom, if it is our custom entity, then only this should come inside this method. So inside this I will add, we have to understand when this method will get triggered. So is data means here is data, what it will do. So we have to understand from staging to API, this mapping will get triggered to API, this method map data to API. That means in staging attribute structure will be formed by entities and attributes. So that means this entity will be formed by attribute structure. Attribute structure means we have already done at the starting level. Attribute structure, this is the one. So we can use this one again. Attribute structure. That means now is data will be attribute structure of this format. So we have to open in S11 that structure. It is the structure is having BP header and legal advisor. Even before doing this, we forgot a major thing which we have to do. We have to create a custom table, because we are mapping to active area, but now custom table it needs to be there. So let's go S11 database table ZTMDG underscore BP to legal ADV advisor. Create this custom table. Now business partner legal advisors. So delivery class, customizing, it will be maintained by customer. Allowed. Now fields inside this, client MANDT key. Now other than this, BP partner, this is also key, and I'm just giving. So in this BP partner I have to give BU underscore partner. This is the standard data element. So give this. Next I have to give LEG ADV. So legal advisor I am giving here LEG ADV. ZZ so what is the data element I have created? ZZ LEG ADV. So this data element ZZ LEG ADV. I am just using this also. And saving this table. Now go to technical settings, data class APPL0, size category minimum size I am giving, buffering not allowed, and I am giving log changes required. Save this, go back, activate this table. So before activating I have to go to extras enhancement category, NB enhanced deep, copy and activate this. So it got activated without any warnings also. Now go back, remember this table which will be used in later programming. So I am just pasting this table here, it will be used later. Table created. So ZTMDG BP2 a legal advisor. Now after creating this table, this is not enough. We should also add this inside this one. So as I showed here, there will be one API format. We have added in staging area. It will be formed because we have added an entity and relationships between them. So it got created in staging, and in active it got created from custom table which we have done. But this API structure which is there, which is transferring data from staging to active and all, this needs to be added manually again by using the same fields. So whatever custom table we have created here, in the same way, same structure we can add inside this BSBP SECC extend. So inside this I want to add the table. So now extend MDG underscore BS underscore BP underscore S underscore ECC underscore EXTERN external. So inside this one I have to add. So now I am opening this deep structure. This is API structure. Going to that, click on display. Now I am clicking on append structure here. ZAP means append, and custom fields one, custom legal data. So I'm clicking on append name, custom legal data for business partner. So inside this I will add, we have to add ZZ here also, field name. Now it is activated without any warnings. Now go back, we can see this got added here. Now go back, so we can this is done. Now we have to continue map data to API. So go to this program. So this map data to API is responsible for staging and API mapping. So append, no, we are going to, this is type any, so we cannot program statically. We have to do assign components and all by using field symbols. So going here, assign component, which component is it having? So this is coming from staging area and we are mapping into active area here into API format. So staging area means we have to consider this table. Staging area means we have to consider this one as data type. So BP header will come here. So BP header SN component, BP header, but we don't need to use this one because this is just for MDG purpose, but this is the required one which we have to use now. So I am just copying this and pasting it. ZZ advisor of structure IS data. So assigning to field symbol LFS ZZ legal advisor. So this field symbol I am just doing this if FS ZZ LEG ADV is assigned. If this is assigned, then what we have to do? So this field symbol we have to map it to CS data ext. So inside CS data means it will be API format. API format means the one which we have created just now. So it will come in this format. So that API format will be this. Now ZZLEGADV it will be this one. So assign component this one again. Our structure CS data ext to field symbol FS ZZ legal advisory DB I will add because this will later get saved into database table in another method. So this is just mapping one. We are just mapping here, not saving any data here. Now if FS ZZ this is also is assigned. If this is also assigned, then we have to map into this format. So that means we have to assign to this field symbol here. So I am just using this one equal to this one. So I am just copying from this structure to this structure. And if pretty printer, everything is fine, activate. That's it. So this is done. We have mapped from custom attribute that MDG data to API data. That is done. Now go back. Whatever data it will get mapped from to API, it will come inside save additional object data inside this. So remove this. Now IS data will have all the data which we have mapped previous method in this. So whatever we mapped inside map data to API, it will come inside input in save additional object data. Its output is input IS data in save additional object data. So this is responsible for saving data inside database table. So we have to do assign again, assign component. So what is that component name? So the input is API format. API format means, let's check this. This is the API format. That means ZZ legal advisor of structure IS data to field symbol LV ZZ legal advisor. So into this field symbol I am copying this dynamically. Now ZZ legal advisor, it is coming, right? So this one we have to insert into database table. So what we have to do? We are already having custom database table, this one. So I am using this. We have to use the table type data. We have created a custom table, right? So that custom table, copy this and ls type this one. So I have created a structure, modify. So if LVZZ legal advisor is assigned, if this is assigned, what we have to do? Then LSZT MDG legal advisor. In this we have to assign client. So client anyway SYMANDT. So client it will be SYMANDT and ZTMDG again inside this partner number. So partner equal to, so this partner we need to know what is the business partner number. So it will come from IS data. So IS data means we have to add another line here. It will be assigned anyway. So here add assign component. So let's go to this format in this structure. Now inside partner, if we go, it will be header minus, inside this if we go, object instance, object instance, again inside object instance only we will have business partner number, so BP partner. So copy this, again paste here. So assign component of structure IS data to field symbol LV BP number. So first we have to check if LV BP number is assigned, and if both are assigned, then partner number is also LV BP number. So next LS MDG. Now here legal advisor, who is this, equal to, we are getting from this component inside this field symbol. So I am just copying this and assigning to this one. So that's it. If all these are done, we have to do insert or update statement, that is modify. Modify ZT MDG underscore BP from LS. So I can use this format, modify this one from this. So that's it. Now we have done these two. Let's check now what is happening. Any grouping? Country US. postal code, city, region, language English. So I'm just mentioning legal advisor, any name. So Ram Murthy, some random name. I'm giving as legal advisor. I'm saving this. So because I want to debug this one, I will debug with while activation only. I don't want entire workflow to be triggered. I want to know while activation what happens. So I know 1084 now. Close this. I will just test this from SWO1. 1084. Now after doing this, I will go back and inside sort entities first I will keep one debugger. It will not get triggered anyway, but the ones which will get triggered are map data to API. I will keep debugger here and then save handler specific data. I will keep debugger here. Now I will click on this. I will click on activate. So after activation the debugger will get triggered. So inside debugger what is happening? So map data to API. Let's go to desktop 3 and let's observe locals. So it will come in MDG format, BP2 header and ZZ legal advisor. So whatever I have entered in the UI, it will come in MDG format. So those will come here to me. In that format, I don't need this temporary number now. I need only this number and this name. So legal advisor, it is assigned. So it will come here and inside this CS data external, we will have the data. So if you go here, ZZ legal advisor. So we have to map into this one. So we are doing that. Now we have mapped into this one. Both are having same now. Now if you go to locals and double click this, you will be able to see this got filled from the field symbol. Now I am clicking on execute. Now it will go to save additional object data. In save additional object data in IS data, if you double click, it will have legal advisor that will be filled from previous mapping. So from previous mapping we have filled in API format. So this API format will be input to this and inside partner you can see object header got created here 2848. This is the upcoming business partner which is going to get created in the system. So 2848. So that's why I have mapped this one. So if I go down next, you can see this entire structure, that exact object instance business partner, it will get stored inside this one. So 2848 we are getting from this field symbol. So I am choosing this. All these are okay. Now modify statement has been done. So let's double click this. This record, this work area has been appended into the table. This table. So now after clicking on OK, execute. Let's go to this custom table, database table, and click on contents. So click on execute. You will be able to see partner and legal advisor. So now everything is working as expected, but something which is coming unexpected now. So we have done activation correctly, but what is happening is if you refresh, go back and enter same change request again. So here we can see 2848 got created. So business partner ID 2848. If you click on search option, we are getting description, search term 1, city and all. So open this one. We will see one unexpected result. So here we can see legal advisor, it is empty 2848, but in the back end 2848 is having legal advisor as Rammurthy. It is assigned, but it is not showing in the UI. This causes an issue. So to resolve this issue, as we have done sort entities, map data to API and save additional data, these three are completed. The rest other two of them we have to execute to resolve this issue. So now let's execute read get object data by entity. So this is the method which I have to go now and I will execute it. So SC24, so go back. So we have to go to get object data by entity. Double click this, remove the code here, remove this unnecessary code. Now again it has to get triggered only for our entity. So if condition, if IV entity equal to Z legal, so only this will get executed only for our entity now. So for our entity we are getting business partner number as an input. So from business partner number, if we are getting input, then it is enough for us to fetch from active area. So as we are already having this custom table, so partner ZTMDG, so select statement we can use select. So here the data which we have to create here itself, it is not coming, any data is not coming from outside. So whatever data which we are giving here, it will get mapped into 2STA. It will get mapped into 2STA, another method. From ZTMDG underscore BP2 legal advisor, where partner equal to @LV IV underscore partner into @data. So now inside this data we have to give inline declaration. So whatever data comes in this format, it will get stored here. So LV underscore ZT MDG underscore BP to LEG ADV. So this is a structure format, so ls I will keep, and also it is a single, single, so it should be single, full stop. Next, what we have to do, so we are getting data here, but outside we have to send its reference data, not direct data. So it is reference data. So here only there will be some complexity involved. So this above we need to know. We have to create, we have to copy this into another field symbol data. Currently it is in local variable. So field symbols ls zt mdg bp to leg adv. I am just using field symbols type. So we are getting from this table means type also it will be in this table only. So type this. So field symbol I have done. Now data, year data we are sending. So locally I am giving LR data, type ref to data. So I am giving this. Now the data which we are getting here, we have to assign it. So if sy sub rc equal to 0, then and if, so if sy sub rc equal to 0, then we have to execute the following lines of code. So for LR data, this is type ref2, right? So create data, LR data, type ztmdg underscore bp to legacy legal advisor. So I am just creating this structure inside this reference. So this is the reference data. To this reference, I am just telling system that I am using this type of structure now. This type of structure. Now this reference data will get created here. Now we have to map field symbol into this one. So assign LR data. This is reference data, so I am dereferencing it to ls ztmdg. I am dereferencing it into this field symbol. So I am just using same thing here. Now it will have the data, empty data. So into this empty data I am just populating this one. So ls ztmdg data is equal to ls this one. Now at last, after assigning this one into this one, finally er data is equal to, we have to use LR data. After activating this, click data by entity we have done now. Now what is remaining? We have to do map data to MDG format. So now this structure will give data from active area to MDG. So whatever reference we have assigned before, in the same format it will come in ls data here. So if iv entity equal to z legl legal, and if here we have to give assign component. So is data will come as per the reference assigned before. So SN component, that reference is of custom table type. So I am giving in same way. Output is same as to map data to staging input. So this output we have setted in the table format. Now same one, it will come here into this format. Now we have to map into staging area. So we have to do SN component. Now we have to check the table. So table is of this format, partner, R structure, IS data to field symbol LS data. So LS to field symbol LV partner. So whatever we are getting here, now if LV partner is assigned, if it is assigned, then what we have to do? Now we have to assign component. So now LEG ADV of structure IS data to field symbol LEG ADV. So legal advisor. Now if LEG ADV is assigned, then what we have to do? So if this is assigned, then in CT data we are sending data in MDG format. MDG format means we can see here staging area. So into staging area means it will be of attribute name and all. So as we know, attribute name is assign. As we know, attribute is in this format. Attribute structure data ls ATL structure struct type. So attribute structure it is of type this one. So this is not only this, we have copied this into here ZXX. This is the created attribute structure. We can reuse it. It is created by MDG. So I am just using this one here, type legal. So here if it is assigned ls attribute struct BP header equal to LV partner ls attribute struct legal advisor, this is equal to LV legal advisor. Use insert into statement, check, no errors found, activate. Now we will be able to now open this. Now it got opened, and we will be, if we scroll down, we are able to see legal advisor name inside this from active area. So these two methods which I have implemented recently, these are responsible for bringing data from active area to staging area so that we can view in the UI, and these are responsible for These two uh, methods are responsible for storing data into database table. So other than these two, we can ignore read object data. So read object data, this is just for checking purpose. When we're creating any data, if we want to check that data and populate some related errors or checks inside SLG1 T code or any object logs, message logs and all, in that case we can use read object data. But in this case we can leave this read object data as empty. And sort entities, it makes our handler class methods to trigger for our custom entity. This is the important one. That's it, guys.